Hi, Pastor Steve here in beautiful Visalia, California. This is Happy Thoughts for 12/15/2021. I hope as you watch this that you are doing well and getting ready for the Christmas season. Here's what I've been thinking about in the last couple of days. When my mother passed away and we kids gathered to go through her effects and kind of clean out the house, one of the things we discovered that I don't think any of us knew before was that in our childhood, mom had borrowed money every December in order to buy a plethora of gifts for Christmas and to make sure that we had a first class feast. Christmas was always the just fantastic for us as kids. It was the one thing my mom did really, really well. Easter was a pretty big deal for her too. But she would borrow money in early December and then she would pay it off throughout the year, usually getting it paid off according to the records just before it was time to borrow money again in order to provide us Christmas. I've reflected on that a lot since she passed away, and that was some time ago now. I think that it was her way of determining that she didn't want us to suffer any more than we had already at the loss of our father. And it was a way of her being defiant about the poverty that we lived in. It's kind of a beautiful memory to have of mom, to know that she was willing to sacrifice in that way and really single-handedly then put on amazing Christmases for us. And I give thanks to God for that spirit in her and for her desire to serve. It makes me think also about Christmas and how lost people, I think especially sometimes people who don't have faith in anything other than themselves, atheists or non-believers in any kind of higher power. In the Christmas season, there seems to be a universal, whether you're a person of faith or whether you're not, a universal desire to somehow be close to family, or at least be close to people who you love and who you are loved by. We want somehow to have the deepest of connections. And as a Christian, I am aware that just being with family or just being with people doesn't necessarily make for a beautiful, treasured memory. But following the instructions, literally the guidebook that has been published for us, scripture, on how to love each other, on how to set aside past harms and to forgive, those things have, over my lifetime, as I've leaned into them more and more, have enhanced my ability to really enjoy and be with the people that I'm privileged to spend Christmas with. And I am grateful for that a part of the Christian tradition for me has been that I literally just have to read the book and remind myself to take those steps and to practice those things. For people without it, I think that Christmas can be all about gifts, or it can be all about let's just get through the season. I think there are lots of folks who have no idea how to connect with another human being, no idea what it is or what it takes for them to develop long-lasting, deep friendships and even love relationships. And I guess my happy thought for today is Christianity at its very best does instruct people in what is necessary, not just to serve God and not just to be pleasing to God, but what is necessary in our life and the way that we live in order to establish really deep and meaningful relationships. In my life, I'm in a time of my life when I have lots of people who I have really beautiful relationships with. And that's a product of following the teachings of Jesus and the teachings of the New Testament and learning more and more as I went what they mean and how they have to be practiced. So I would say to those who listen to this video blog that this Christmas would be a great time, not just to contemplate the coming of God in flesh, but to think about the relationships that you have that are good, the relationships you have that are not good, and the relationships that you wish that you had. And if you find yourself stymied on how to be close to people or how to get to a place where you really are able to treasure them and be treasured by them, look in the New Testament. The First Corinthians is beautiful. Matthew 5, which is the Sermon on the Mount, is a beautiful instruction booklet. There's a lot in the faith tradition of Christianity that teaches people the truth about how to make a relationship that is as meaningful as we want it to be, maybe especially during the Christmas season. I had a difficult relationship with my mom, kind of a love-hate thing for a long time. when I learned that she had sacrificed in that way all those years when I was a child, even though she had already passed away, it really deepened my relationship with her. It made me much more appreciative of how hard it was for her to have a house full of kids and be widowed, and how hard she had striven to make sure that our life was as good as it could be. It really helped me repair some damage inside. And the same thing is true in the relationships that I enjoy now. A lot of it has to do with willingness to sacrifice, or acknowledging the sacrifice that other people make on your behalf. That's a good place to start in this Christmas season. So before you gather around the table or the tree with friends and family, or even folks that you don't necessarily want to be around the tree with, take a look at the New Testament, at 1 Corinthians, especially the 13th and 14th chapters, and Matthew 5, and refresh yourself in what it takes to be in a deep relationship, not just with God, but with one another. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas. I'll be back next week again with happy thoughts, and we'll tie that obviously into contemplating what it means that God came to earth in flesh, but that'll be for next week. So hope you're having a great week, and I will see you soon.